Okay. What's up, YouTube? I'm back for the second video. Just to lead up, I didn't really like the way that the first one went, so I'm gonna try to kind of switch up my style a little bit. So instead of kind of getting too preachy and kind of finding specific messages in each of these videos that I'm showing y'all, I'm just gonna kind of try to I guess just share more of my personal thoughts on these videos. So I'm trying to get out of this kind of presenter mode. I feel like every time I'm in front of the camera, I'm just sitting here presenting something to an invisible audience, and it's just not coming off genuine to me, and I'm just not liking it. So I picked a video this week that is probably not the most exciting content for everyone to consume, but I found some actually really good stuff in it. So I'm just going to try to share some of my personal thoughts and use this video as an opportunity to actually get myself, I guess, more used to just sharing my personal thoughts instead of presenting so much for the camera. So the title of this video is called The Process of Art Restoration, but I kind of had a hard time finding it on YouTube. I actually was shown this video in an art class at my university my last semester. So I just went into Google and typed in the process of art restoration, and it was the first option there. So if you're going to look for it, that's how I found it. So I guess this piece of artwork was being restored at the Art Conservation Department at the Buffalo State College. See, I'm already getting into this presenter vibe again, and I'm just not liking it. So I'm going to try to pretend that this camera sitting right here is just my girlfriend or one of my buddies sitting on the couch, and I'm just going to try to tell them about this video that I just found. So I know that art restoration is not something that everybody generally thinks about as being something inspiring, but I'm telling you, this lady had it down. This lady's outlook on life was pretty much exactly what this whole channel is about. So for those who don't know anything about art restoration, and I don't know very much about art restoration, it seems to be a very, very long, very, very tedious process that basically not very many people can do, I guess. So, see, like, this video is already going south because I'm sitting here trying to present something, instead of just telling you guys what I freaking found in the video that inspired me. So I'm just going to refer to some notes, I guess, and kind of talk about some of the things that she said in the video, because really most of the video was just her explaining the process, how she thinks about her job, and how she thinks about the impact that her job has. Most of us are probably sitting there like, yeah, art restoration, what's the big deal? And I get it, but to be honest, I guess it doesn't really matter what you're doing. The whole point is to find your passion and find what you love and make sure that you find a way to do that. And I think that's what this lady has done. She's really, in like a 4.5 minute clip, proven that she loves what she does, and she's actually catering to a higher purpose in her mind by doing what she does. And that's really the important part of the whole video, and that's what I'm going to try to drill home on. So some of the things that she brought attention to in the video was how she feels like in her job she has the power and ability to heal something. So that's a pretty unique thought, to think about this inanimate object just sitting on a wall or in a plaza or in a gallery, or maybe sealed off from the world for tens, hundreds, maybe even thousands of years. It's just interesting to think about caring to heal something like that. So that's just a random thought that I was having when she was talking, was like, how many people, how many opportunities do we get to try to heal something? Or on the flip side of that, how many of us really have the ability or feel like they have the power or the ability to heal something? Just interesting kind of personal thoughts there that I was like, I guess it's just as easy to destroy something. I guess none of us really feel like we're powerless when it comes to destroying things, but most of us are probably sitting there like, yeah, art restoration, what's the big deal? And I get it, but to be honest, I guess it doesn't really matter what you're doing. The whole point is to find your passion and find what you love and make sure that you find a way to do that. And I think that's what this lady has done. She's really, in like a 4.5 minute clip, proven that she loves what she does, and she's actually catering to a higher purpose in her mind by doing what she does. And that's really the important part of the whole video, and that's what I'm going to try to drill home on. So some of the things that she brought attention to in the video was how she feels like in her job she has the power and ability to heal something. So that's a pretty unique thought, to think about this inanimate object just sitting on a wall or in a plaza or in a gallery, or maybe sealed off from the world for tens, hundreds, maybe even thousands of years. It's just interesting to think about caring to heal something like that. So that's just a random thought that I was having when she was talking, was like, how many people, how many opportunities do we get to try to heal something? Or on the flip side of that, how many of us really have the ability or feel like they have the power or the ability to heal something? Just interesting kind of personal thoughts there that I was like, I guess it's just as easy to destroy something. I guess none of us really feel like we're powerless when it comes to destroying things, but I don't know. See, now I'm just kind of rambling. Let's move on to the second point. Oh, this is great. So in the video, she says it's totally romantic. The ideas behind art restoration and how she views her job are totally romantic to her. She even says in the video that she doesn't think that you do that job for the money. Now, how often do you hear someone say something like, I don't think you do this job for the money? I mean, you'd think, I hear all the time, if you don't care about making money, go be a teacher. And I think that's kind of the implication, is that if you love what you do as a teacher, then making money shouldn't be the main priority. But in many of these other professions that I see people interested in, especially in the modern age, what's the purpose behind it? Is it really just to go make money every single time you punch the clock? Is it really just to punch in and punch out and pay your bills? Because that's not something that interests me. That's not something that I try to occupy my mind thinking about. It's not something that I envision myself being happy with in my lifetime. So I just thought that it was really, really interesting. Probably one of the best points of the video was that she says that she actually doesn't think that you do that job for the money. And now when you look at this topic that's so boring to most, and maybe just most people don't understand how someone could be interested in something like this, it's really powerful to see someone say, I don't think that you do the job for the money. I don't think it should matter what the job is. I mean, if she sits in a museum and I'm making this video about her and I don't even know who she is, she's still having an impact. She's still fulfilling a purpose, and that's good enough for her. So how many people could benefit from just shifting that mindset or shifting that perspective a little bit? Because I guess that's another point that I can lead into with my personal thoughts here, is perspective. She just shares a perspective that most of us probably don't share. And I mean, rightly so. Again, a lot of this stuff is gray. There's really no black and white, but it just seems like a person that is not going to be famous, is not going to be rich, is not going to end up in the headlines. She's completely satisfied with her role, it seems like, in this job. So that's a perspective that maybe more people could take some value from, because a lot of us are just kind of wrapped up in the here, the now, the world revolves around me type of attitude, and it just seems like that's not the way to inner peace. That just doesn't seem like something that's going to lead me to where I want to be. So she also says that she thinks that you do that job for the pleasure of the work and for the pleasure of doing that kind of work. There's also a video that I'll be doing later on this year that's centered around this topic, but I think it's a really, really important topic actually. So for me, that's pretty much all I'm trying to do with my current lifestyle. Is I'm trying to create a lifestyle that I take pleasure in doing whatever I'm going to do. And that's why I've started down this path, really, is just to help inspire people, because that's something that gives me pleasure when I see the impact that I have on other people. So I can totally relate to the idea of doing what you do for the pleasure of the work. I think loving the craft should be the first requirement. It should be the very first prerequisite to whatever you're going to do. That's just my personal opinion. And I know in this world, not everyone can just get around working a terrible job. Not everyone can get away from punching a clock. But that to me is like, even if you are punching the clock, even if you are working for somebody else, even if you are required to do X, Y, and Z day to day, if you find pleasure in that work, isn't that the most important thing? And I feel like more and more people are catching on to this wave that as long as you love what you do, aren't you winning? It really doesn't matter if you make $5 million a year or $50,000 a year. If you love what you do, that's a win. So I just really thought that it was interesting to see this woman who seems to be very, very distantly connected to me, and I feel like we probably don't have very many similarities in our lifestyle, but that is something that I think we agree on, and I think that it's awesome that an average everyday person from a random video that I found can offer that, and that's why inspiration is everywhere. That's why we should go looking for it. Let's see. She also touched on the fact that she likes feeling like she's bringing something back to life, which is pretty interesting. Kind of going back to that power and ability to heal something, I guess. It's interesting to see, and her perspective on that again, to look at bringing this inanimate object, this painting, back to life, so to speak, is a really interesting perspective to take on what you do. So I'm not really going to harp on that one too long, but I just did take some interest in that point, so I thought that I would bring it up. Okay, so I'm going to read this quote right off of my notes so that I don't mess it up. But this, to me, will probably be the key point of the video, and I think that I'll probably wrap it up after this and see how this one turned out. Hopefully I can go chop this one up, and then I'll leave y'all with an outro message. But all right, so she says towards the end of the video, she says, "These are material witnesses of the past and what we have to give to the future. So it's like we're taking care of history." I thought that quote was very, I guess, profound, to use big words. To think about paintings and artwork as witnesses of our past is a pretty heavy thought. But again, it stood out to me. I mean, it's a pretty profound thought. It's a pretty significant way to look at things, I think. And then on top of that, it's not just that she views these paintings as witnesses of the past, but she also views it as her responsibility to kind of care for and almost shepherd these paintings into our future. And I don't think that she's talking about the people that work at the art museum. I think she's talking on a level of humanity as a whole, which is just, again, something that I don't think we get enough of in this modern age, is perspective that's bigger than ourselves. So I wish I knew this woman's name, but hopefully you guys will be able to find the video afterwards and see some of the things that I saw in this art restoration video, because I think I'm settling in on my slogan being that inspiration is everywhere. And that's kind of the point of this channel, really, is to find inspiration in the everyday places, in the everyday people, and bring it forth, even if most people didn't get to see it the first time around. This video to me was just kind of like a sample run of how I'm going to be able to, or how I'm going to try to just share my personal thoughts on these videos instead of trying to preach hard messages. I just want to kind of share how I'm thinking about some of these messages that I'm picking out and some of these people that I'm running across, and seeing what you guys think. So the whole point is to bring inspiration. That's the whole purpose of this whole channel. And so I'd love to get some feedback at some point. I'd love to be able to keep improving. This was a slight change for this video, and I think I'm going to change this little studio setup for the next video also. So I'm just going to keep improving, keep working, and hopefully these messages will start to get more refined, more detailed, a little bit more exciting to look at and listen to. So I know that this content wasn't the most exciting content. This was an experiment for me to share my thoughts openly. And so I'm going to go chop it up and see what it turns out like. But hopefully next week I'll have a new studio set up, so we'll get a different look going on the background. And I'll be thinking about this next video all week long, so anything that I can work on, I'm going to try to work on, try to make some changes. Also, I'm going to add some extra content to the channel, so that'll be like dance videos in the morning. So my movement that I'm going to try to start is getting up and dancing to your favorite music in the morning. So what I'll be doing is probably twice a week, I'll be just waking up fresh out of bed, turning on the camera, turning on some music, and just dancing real quick, just to inspire people to get up, start their day off right. Dancing is hella fun, even though I'm not the best dancer in the world, and you'll see that if you're watching. But yeah, the whole point is to just start doing stuff, start to bring positivity to people, start to bring inspiration to people. And you may not find the inspiration in the same ways that I do, but you may find it in other ways that I haven't. So that's going to be the exciting exchange on this channel between ideas and different messages that are pulled from different clips. So I'm excited to get this up. We'll see how it turns out. I think I probably chatted here for a little bit too long, so I'll have to cut this down, but yeah, we'll see. Anyway, until next time. Actually, it'll probably be until a couple days from now. Have a good one.